Hello and thank you for arriving this Leganto June release notes webinar. Just a quick check that you can hear me and see my shared screen. If you could, one of you can just raise your hand, it would be great. Thank you. Okay, so today I will walk through some of the functionality we developed for June release. Followed by a sneak peek to July and just a small discussion around analytics at the end. Okay, so in this release, we had several enhancements that are related to Alma functionality. But just before that, I just want to highlight this enhancement. I know it's probably not relevant for most of you, but we do now support Summon discovery platform service from Leganto. The nice part about it is that from the instructor and student's perspective, it will be the same as they're using Primo. We don't change anything from the end user perspective in Leganto. Just the underlying map integration or API is changed between Primo to Summon. Of course, everything is configurable, and now we will support. We did that before because we do have some Summon customer over Alma that purchased Leganto. And next, the first thing I wanted to show is the sort capability we added into the reading list screen. Let me just, oops, sorry about that. I wanted to actually open this one. So the reading list functionality. Okay, so when you'll get into the reading list, as you most likely do, from the reading list screen, and any reading list that you'll get into now, basically will allow you to see all the citation and use. And until now, the citation order could be determined once in a custom configuration to reflect either the instructor order or auto by auto or by title, etc. And it wasn't be possible to switch between those within the list. So what we added now is this sort capability here, and basically you can choose which view you would like, which sort you would like to have on the list. Now the default here is kept according to the last selected sort option. So right now, the last selection option I had was instructor order, and you can see the list is sorted probably as the instructor created it. Now I can change it now to the citation title. Now this sometimes is useful when I would like to track titles of the same resources from the same title. It will be easier for me to track that if I'm changing the sort, and of course I can change the sort to any of the other sorting options, such as last modified, to provide me the most modified, so the last modified citation on top, and maybe it will be easier for me to fulfill the list that way. As I mentioned, the last option which I leave the sort on will be the default option for me next time I'll get in. Okay. And next, just one more thing. Of course, the order that I'm ordering the list in Alma will not impact the order of the list in Leganto. Okay, just for presentation only. The reading list in Leganto will kept as it was designed either by the instructors or by the librarian that created the list. Next thing, okay, this is really a small thing, right? But sometimes the small things are the most beneficial things for us. So in this case, what this enhancement did is in the course screen, the default search available here was, if I'm not mistaken, the course code. Um, we change it to all, which means that basically you now can, when you place a search criteria here, it will try to match one of the fields in the list here, either the course code name, notes, name, ID, searchable ID, year, and all, etc. And this is just small, but I believe useful functionality that I heard from many customers, and we just change it. Next thing I wanted to discuss is also a small enhancement, but I think it's really meaningful enhancement in terms of the workflow and overload that sometimes you have with managing the list. This enhancement is related to the fact that how list is assigned to librarians. Until now, basically, when you get into a librarian went into a list and saved it, the list was assigned to this librarian automatically. You can of course reassign the list later on to another librarian or release the assignment, but the actual save, if I just change a small thing in the list and I wanted to save it, I became the assignee, and sometimes the internal workflow between the librarian is not like that. You just want to do your part, but there is a liaison librarian or somebody that basically manages the list, and you don't want to reassign it to yourself. So this configuration, the RL auto assign, practically allows you to do so. We have, let me just go back to Alma just configure to show you where the configuration is, because this configuration is not part of the Leganto configuration, because it's related to the course level or the course reserve level that also institutions that don't have Leganto can utilize. So instead of walking to the Leganto configuration, in the fulfillment other settings, you have the generic configuration for the system. And if I'll look for the specific label here, the RL auto assign, I can see this is a new configuration. The default here, by the way, is all. All means that whenever you get you reaching a list and save it, you've been assigned to the list as the librarian. There are several other functionalities here. You have the unassigned, which is now configured as unassigned. It means that only unassigned lists, when you are save them, will be assigned to you. There is the other part of it is assigned, which means that only assigned lists, not to you in general, will be reassigned to you. And there is a blank that basically there is no auto assign. So it means that you need to reassign a list manually to a librarian, and this assignment cannot be changed by saving the list by other librarians. So let's see how it works with unassigned as an example. So let me just log out from this high priority user and go back to my user. And again to the reading list pane or screen. Okay, so right now I'm in the tab of assigned to me. If I'll go to the unassigned tab and just take one of the lists, let's assume this one. When I save the list, let me just copy it. When I save the list, this list will be automatically assigned to me and will be available on the assigned to me panel. Let me see where it is. Okay, there it is. Okay, but if I'll go into assign to other tab, which means that all the lists are assigned to somebody else. If I'll go and work on one of the lists, this and just save it, can see that the list stays at the same place, and still the assignee is not myself, it's Catherine Morris. Okay, so of course you can choose what suits you from the configuration and adopt it into your workflow. Any questions about that? Great, let's continue. So the next functionality is related to the ability to cancel digitization request that was initiated. As you know, as you probably know, digitization requests which related to reading lists can be associated with copyright for the citation, and copyright is kept on a copyright attribute and can be adhere to copyright rules. But the digitization process in Alma is a parallel process that is a workflow to eventually receive a digitized material. If you are using this flow, sometimes when you initiate in a digitization request, you want to cancel the request for digitization because you already have the PDF in hand or the scan in hand, but you don't want to cancel or delete or remove the copyright information on the citation, because right now they are tied together, and canceling the request will basically remove the copyright information from the citation, and then you need to re-enter this information manually. And this is just a waste of time. Sometimes you're not even aware of what were the copyright request there. So what we added here, and let me just go back to a reading list. Oops, I just wanted to. Sorry. I think it was. Let me just find the list I wanted to demo on it. Not that. Sorry about that. Yeah, this list. So I'll enter a list with a citation that I know that I have a digitization request on this list, and I'll go to the Manage Fulfillment option. I see that there is a digitization request in place, but I also see that in parallel, of course, if I'll edit the citation itself, the copyright attribute has the copyright information entered into it, pages from 54 to 96. Okay, so let me just go back. So now when you would like to, for example, cancel the digitization request but keep the copyright information, we added this checkbox here that you can cancel the request, but you can keep the citation copyright information and continue to work with it if you would like to, or just remove it if you don't would like to leave it at all. So this leaves you the options to manage the rest of the flow after canceling the request. Good. Any questions about this functionality? Okay. To a Leganto related interface change or functionality change. So let me just go to Leganto for a second. So first thing is that now we allow you to copy citation within a list, but also to other lists available for you. So from a citation, you have copy citation, and then you can choose, do you want to copy it to the same list or to any other list that you are owner of the list? So you can choose whatever list you wish, and of course choose one of the section in the list, and just click confirm, and the citation will be copied there. This functionality is sometimes really needed when you're working on few lists together, and you know that you have and you don't and until now basically you need to synchronize it through your collection. and now it's available for you just with one click. The next enhancement related that available now in Leganto is related to files. Files uploaded in Leganto. Until now, when a file was uploaded either in Leganto or in Alma to a citation, in Leganto there was no capability for you to remove the file. So we added this capability now. So if you're creating a new citation, adding a new file, you can remove it, you can replace it with another file, etc. This is you just have the trash bin here, and you can just click it. Of course, if the citation itself is subject to copyright and you click it, you get a warning saying, "Okay, this is related to copyright. Are you sure you would like to remove it?" Of course, only instructors and a librarian can do so. And also, there's a flag that allows the library to manage that. So, instructor will not be able to do so if the library don't want them to mess around with the files during the semester. Good. So now let's move quickly to just a sneak peek for July 2019. We have two nice functionalities that's waiting for us there. Of course, there are more. I just want to highlight two. So the first thing is the capability or the ability for you to configure rules using rules that map a bibliographic record to citations. So what it means that today all the mapping from the bib, from the MARC record into citation is done hard-coded. You know, MARC 245, go to this citation field, etc., etc. But we are aware that there are a lot of specific needs per institution, so we open that for you to be able to configure it. It comes along with a mapping screen that you can actually test your changes and see how the citation will look after you change the rules. So it's quite a big enhancement. Of course, you can enable or disable it according to your needs. Basically, it's disabled by default. You can test it, check it, and if you feel that it's suitable for you, it will be, you can enable it in your environment. The other functionality is related to the reading list facets that we have today. We added several more academic department, course year added as well, but also list assigned to and assigned date were also added. So you can actually filter by the librarian now, and also filter by when it was assigned to librarians. So you can track lists that may be assigned to librarian that were not fulfilled in time, still didn't manage to be completed, and see what's going on over there. Okay, so I wanted to finalize this session, which was relatively short, and I thought what I would like to add to it with something that I think most of you are aware of, but I just want to make sure that you are, and if not, it will be like a training session for you. So reports, right? We all would like to have reports on the usage, but not on the institution, on the list level, on citation levels. We would like sometimes to see a more big picture of what's going on in our institution. You know, how many students were active, how many courses are active, and some other information related to engagement. In this example, and this is real data that we have, that I have from my central database that aggregate the information from all the institutions. So in this example, we can see Q1 2018 compared to Q1 2019, the growth in active students and active courses. But you can actually do that on your institution quite easily. And I just wanted to show you how. So if you'll go into your Alma Analytics, there are several subject areas that Leganto introduced, and you probably saw them. But let me just focus on one of them, which this is the one that I use to create the report. So we have the Leganto student users, which that you have today, that you can actually see engagement per listen, citation, etc. You have the Leganto instructor usage events, allows you to see events or changes in the list instructor created. But you have this Leganto institution student usage. This subject area basically allows you to see the big picture and allows you to actually focus and get the results on any time period you would like to have. And I just wanted to show it to you. So as you see, it's a small relatively subject area. You just have the student usage parameters, as you had also with the other subject area for students. And you have the dates. You can see that the date is really informative. You can have many kinds of date. It's not limited to weeks or to total. So let's just start with a simple report. In this case, let's start with the year key, month key, and let's see the active courses and active students. Let me just explain what are active courses. Active courses are courses that are exist in your institution, but also have reading lists that students actually engaged with, meaning active reading lists. So it's not just all the courses available in your system. Those are the courses that are actually active with students. So let's add some more information. If just one reminder, you have the number parameter and you have the students related parameter. The ones that start with numbers basically explain just total amount. So number of reading list views means the total clicks on reading list view. And students that viewed reading list, it means unique students that viewed the reading list. But in this report, I just add those fields. Let me just see the results. And in the results, you can see per year, per month, the active courses, the active students, etc., and all the rest of the parameters. As you can see, as you probably know from analytics, it's really easy to add, a graphical report. So let me just quickly add it and just make it visible only for the active students and active courses. Let's move the year key over here, and let's move all the other parameter out of this specific report, and just leave here only the active courses and active students. And now you can see that, and of course you can do that in your institution as well, you can see the changes along the years between active students and active courses. Of course, this is a demo system and it's a bit upside down. You have more active courses than active students, which usually it's the opposite. But let's assume you would like to have a report not on a month basis, on a year basis. You just want to have a report on your semester dates. Your semester starts in a specific date and ends in a specific date. You don't want to have it. So you would like to understand what was the engagement on this semester compared to another semester. So what we can do for this case, let me just get rid of the year and the month, and let's just add a date. Oops, let's just add a date into the report. Now, if I leave it as it is right now, basically, this analytics subject area allows you to see a daily information. So we'll have per day all the information, but this is not what we would like to do. We would like to group it by the semester dates. So the way to do that is basically filter out and choose the in-between two dates. So the semester dates that I would like to filter by. So let's assume my semester was from January 1st. I know it could be not relevant for you, but just for this example, until, I don't know, March 31st. Okay, this is my semester. Now, the way to actually see it grouped by this range of date is to delete now the date field from the report. So I'll have one line of result here that will aggregate and summarize all the active courses, students, and all the rest of the parameters for my specific semester between the dates that I introduced. Okay, but if I want to do the same report I did at the beginning, not for a monthly basis, but for a quarterly basis, it makes more sense sometimes to group it by quarters, even though it's not parallel to the semester, but it makes sense. So so the trick and how to do that is really simple as well. Let's add again the year, but now we'll add the date over here. But in the date, what we'll do edit formula, and we will use one of the function and manipulation for calendar and date. And here we can, on the date, have manipulation to choose among a lot of other options, to choose the quarter of the year. Okay, and I'll get rid of this filter that we had before. So let me just go to the results and show you quickly how it looks like. So I'll move the year to the left and also the quarter to the left. And what we can see now is per year, per quarter number, 2017 quarter 2. Again, the numbers per quarter aggregated and summarized accordingly. And of course, the graph will behave the same. Okay, so I just wanted to highlight this subject area because I think it's should be really useful for you to summarize the engagement of your students with Leganto and see the trend, but not from the perspective of one or two lists, but the perspective of all the lists. And you can actually manipulate the dates quite easily, and therefore this is why it's really useful for you to work with this subject area. Any questions about that? About this analytics or anything else from this release note? Okay then. So thank you very much for your time, and see you in about a month. In our July release. Thank you.